This is always one of those special occasions as Director of Social Services that I get to partake in. It's always great when we get a chance to remind ourselves what great people live in this community and how important volunteerism is here in terms of our culture. I know that's important to everybody who's here in terms of leadership, but it also means a lot to the folks that live in the town as well. So this morning we gather, obviously, to look who's hiding in the last row back there. Mike Hellichu, our honoree, the humble man that he is trying to hide. It's not going to work, Mike, at least for the next half an hour, I got to tell you that. So what we're going to do this morning is talk a little bit about Peg Smith. This is an honor that is bestowed upon members of our community who have modeled what Peg brought to this community, and she brought a lot. Her husband Jim is here with us today, and he's going to help us in terms of the award, handing out the award. But Peg, I didn't get the opportunity to meet her, but she was a busy bee. That's what everybody says, Jim, right? Going around pollinating all these wonderful good projects, the Dial-A-Ride program, the Adult Day Center, Teddy Bear program, all kinds of things. You'll see information about Peg on the back of the brochure. And Jim, I have to recognize you too, because Jim still comes every week religiously as a volunteer to the Department of Social Services. So we appreciate that, Jim, as well, every Monday morning. So we are here again. This is our sixth year. We had 10 nominations this year, and that is the largest crowd of nominations we've ever had. The committee who came together to select this year's nominee felt really strongly that the other 9 folks who were nominated be recognized, so we're going to do that following the ceremony with a nice certificate and a letter that we want to be able to do. And I wanted to know, Jim, would you like to say anything as we start, or?
I'm not a good speaker.
You're a great speaker. You got great socks, so do you want to speak or no?
The socks don't.
You're all set?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm all set.
Right. So I want to recognize folks who are here today. We have council members. Denny, Suzak, who else am I missing?
Bill
Kiner. Mayor's here, of course, because he's doing the proclamation. Mayor Mike. We have the town manager and our assistant town manager back there. Wave, Chris. There you go. There you go. Anybody who doesn't know, they're back there. Am I missing anybody? No, okay. We have a lot of folks. Mike did a lot of work in town, and one of the invitations he really wanted us to make this morning is to his former employer, Allied, and they have a group of folks here to recognize your service to Allied as well. I just want to say that when I first came to town about 3 years ago, we were over in the church building, the village center, and Mike was one of the first volunteers who kind of came in, sat down, and welcomed me to town. It was one of those moments where I thought, wow, this is going to be awesome. And I thank you for that, Mike. And I thank you for all the compassion you showed to everybody who has been in town, particularly the folks who are served by Allied. That's an important population within our community to recognize. And we're really grateful that you've retired and you can actually spend much more time now volunteering. So thanks for that. Okay, Mayor Mike, can we have you come up?
Sure.
And Dave, do you want to come up? Dave Goyette?
Sure.
So Dave Goyette, as you all know, is chairperson of our Commission on Aging. He too is one of those tireless volunteers, and we're grateful that he retired for the service that he offers. He also nominated Mike for this award. So, it's okay. He's got a little. So we had a proclamation.
Yep.
Mike's going to read that, and Dave's going to offer some remarks, and we'll walk right through.
Thank you. Thank you, Don, and thank you everyone for coming. It's an honor for me to be here. Ooh, is it on?
No, I'll hold it for you.
Oh, it is. It's actually hard to do the proclamation and the mic at the same time, so thank you. And again, I just want to say real quick, thank you for everyone coming. And I got to know Mike. We've actually volunteered together in December at the, at the Enfield Food Shelf where we handed out turkeys, and a very nice guy. And I was reading some of the background, and when you talk about volunteerism, right? I mean, we do a lot of good things. We have events. We do all those things that really, again, really show the passion of Enfield. But driving people to 4,000 mile or 4,000 hour, 200 hours, driving veterans to their appointments, just being present, right? I mean, you can't emphasize how important just being present is. I mean, even if it's just to show up and chat, say how you doing, how was your night. Those are the volunteer hours that really matter. And just reading that about Mike. Just knowing, again, a very humble individual. It's just great stuff. And those are the things that, when we all hit the pearly gates someday, that they're going to be the ones that count. So very good job, sir. And again, it's an honor to be here. Thank you for holding the mic. And again, Mike, I've been practicing your name. So and if everyone knows, pronunciation is not a strength of mine. So I apologize in advance, but I think I got it down, Mike. Volunteer of the Year 2019, Mike Hellichu. All right. See, I should just stop now. Whereas the town of Enfield has been honoring outstanding community volunteers with the Peg Smith Memorial Volunteer of the Year Award since 2014. And whereas volunteering one's time and resources has traditionally been and continues to be an elementary part of essence and tradition of our society and is essential to its spirit and vitality, and whereas Mike's commitment to the Enfield community has been very evident in his actions and contributions for many years. Whereas Mike has served with the Rotary Club of Enfield for more than 35 years, has been active on the Board of Trustees for the Enfield Elks Lodge and the Board of Commissioners for Thompsonville Fire Department. Whereas Mike is also an actor and a producer for Mystery Theater Productions that benefited the Nantucket Community College Foundation, and is a production crew member for the Enfield Commission on Aging Senior Views Cox Public Access TV show. Whereas a veteran himself, is what I mentioned earlier, Mike logged more than 4,800 miles and 200 hours in 2018 alone by driving other veterans to medical appointments at VA hospitals in Newington and West Haven, and also volunteered to drive the Nutmeg Senior Rides. Whereas his contributions have impacted virtually every local nonprofit agency, the Food Shelf, Safe Harbor Warming Center, the Enfield Fuel Bank, Educational Resources for Children, the Network Against Domestic Abuse, Enfield Loaves and Fishes, and Allied Community Services, where he finished out his public service career. Whereas over the years, Mike has also made significant contributions for the Toys for Joy program, the Back to School Backpack program as a Special Olympics mentor, and most recently, efforts to combat opioid use. Now, therefore, I, Michael Ludwig, Mayor of the Town of Enfield, proudly on behalf of the Town Council, the Town Administration, and the entire community hereby honor Michael Hellichu as the Volunteer of the Year 2019, and thank him for his dedication to giving so freely of his valuable time, energy, and abilities. All right.
Can everybody hear me?
No, you gotta use the mic.
Sure you want me to hold it?
No,
All right, you got it?
Thanks, Mike. You know, when I first met Mike a few years ago, he was on a focus group for the Commission on Aging. And after I met him, everywhere I went in town to volunteer to do whatever needed to be done, there he was. And I kept thinking over the years, wow, this guy is really special. Wherever he's needed, he's there. And over the years, I've grown more and more fond of him and what he has done. And Mother Teresa once said, if I pray, I believe. If I believe, I love. And if I love, I serve. Mike has served. He has served his country, his community, his family, and we're so honored to have him here today. Thank you, Mike.
So we're going to gather in a little bit. We'll have some photo opportunities, but Jim Smith is now going to join us. We actually have a plaque that recognized the Volunteer of the Year. Jim, do you want to?
Yeah, this bee is a kind of a special thing. My wife had one outfit that looked like a bee, okay? And it fit her the best of everything she had, and it was one of these that was made to last, all right? So she had it for a lot of years. And during her volunteer period before she worked for the town of Enfield, she wore it a lot. And I just had to pick a bee as represent, and you know what bees do, okay? And you're certainly one deserving of a bee, and it was just a little add to that, okay? Okay? Good to have you, Mike. You're a great person.
It's all you, buddy.
Well, thank you very much. It is truly an honor for me to receive this award, and I appreciate what the town is doing to recognize volunteerism. I thank the mayor and the town councilman and Dave Goyette. Thank you, Dave. Dave is a volunteer champion in his own right and is probably not receiving this award this year because we didn't write up the nomination yet, but we'll be working on that. I want to thank the Smith family for putting Peg's name on this award. This knowing, I did know Peg. I knew of her and what she was doing for the town. And I know most of the previous recipients, and I'm truly honored to be in that group of people who've been honored with this award. I want to thank my family, my wife Dora, who shares me with the entire town of Enfield, and my dad, 99 years old. He's a veteran, and he taught me the meaning of integrity and generosity. And I think what I give back to the town and to the community is as a result of what he has instilled in me. I have good news for the mayor, and that is that everywhere I go in Enfield and every place where I volunteer and I try to get involved, there are many people who want to help this community. Many people are stepping forward. So if I'm happy to be with the people who are trying to make Enfield a better community. And I count my blessings every day and thank God for my blessings. And as the room is filled with my blessings, and I really appreciate all of you being here. You give me the encouragement and the motivation and the strength that I need to give back, and I appreciate that. And I count all of you as friends, of course, and I appreciate the friendship that you give back to me. And I had some notes written down, but they're in my pocket, and my hands are full. So I've spoken enough. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you to my family, my friends, Rotary, the folks at the not-for-profit organizations. I learned a lot at Allied, worked there for 18 years. Educational resources, the food shelf. This is a great town. The Thompsonville Fire Commission, a great town to be involved in, and I'm very happy to be here, and thank you for the honor of this award.
If we could, before I forget, could we have a moment of silence for Ron Gregory, who passed away? He was the 2017 Volunteer of the Year.
So I want to invite folks to come up. We're going to do photo ops, so we'll have some with the families. Chris and Kasha, you're more than welcome to join, and council members, come on up. This is the part where we get to celebrate. Oftentimes I open the mic. Is that okay? So does anybody else want to say anything about Mike before we move on? We could take it as a little opportunity to roast him if we'd like. Really? You're not jumping off the seat, Dora? I'm surprised. Yeah, you.
I'm not going to roast Mike.
You're not going to roast?
No.
Come on, you have to
No,
sit up here.
I might. Oh.
No, here, hon. Go ahead.
Oh. Hi. My name's Carol Bonat. I'm from Allied Community Services, and I've had the great honor to work with Mike for those 18 years that he was there. Learned a great deal. And he's a man that represents service to the community and the public for basically almost his entire career, I think, except for maybe Adams and Adams. Mm-hmm. Yes. So he's always been given, because when you work for a nonprofit, that's what you do. That's your way of life. It's your vocation. And that's what Mike did the whole time he was with Allied. And I'm very fortunate to have known him. Very deserving of this award. Chris?
Mike, congratulations. We've worked together on so many things, and if there's probably a few words to sum up Mike: gentleman, patience, creativity, and definitely integrity. And we've worked together with the Network Against Domestic Abuse, the Zentot Community College Foundation, Rotary, North Central Chamber of Commerce, to name just a few. And if there's anyone that you could ever say, I need help, who steps right up and will do anything from acting in a play to behind the scenes, whatever is needed, you are that person. And this is so well deserved. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chris.
I guess I'll say something.
You're in trouble now.
I'm Mike's wife, Dora. I just want to say that, see, that's one thing that his college background drives me crazy. He does give a lot to his community, and that's why I love him so much, because he is devoted. And we have to, in our lives, his calendar is our like Bible, because no matter what we do, we have to go by what is written in his calendar for that day, because he may not be around to share with anybody. So I just wanted to say that, you know, I'm very proud of him, and I love you.
Anybody else? Okay, so we're going to do some photo ops. We want folks to come up, and then we can all file downstairs and have a much more relaxed time with everybody as we have coffee and celebrate with some refreshments. Okay? You all right with that? Okay.
Okay.
So could we have town council members? Oh, and I've been remiss. If anybody didn't meet Kathy Chris when she came in, she is the first volunteer of the Year of the Award recipient. Thank you, Kathy. You want to come up? Come up. Do it.